to the Hoops Lounge. We're the show with less problems than Greg Oden. My name is Marc Griffin, a.k.a. Montreal Marc, and I'm joined by my partners in crime, Phil Boileau, a.k.a. Sporting Phil. Some call him Dr. Phil, by the way, and Mota, the international man of mystery. Today we are talking about the Bulls of Chicago and their man Derrick Rose, this franchise, this roster. A lot of changes in the offseason. Phil, I am going to go to you first. Rick Bucher, writer for the NBA, well known around the basketball world, wrote that the Bulls and people in general should be concerned about how Derrick Rose is going all out in this USA basketball offseason. Do you think the Bulls should be concerned right now with how D. Rose is playing?
Absolutely. Their whole championship window is predicated upon Derrick Rose's health, and he's finally looking healthy for the first time in, realistically since his MVP year. And going full tilt for Team USA is good if you're a Bulls fan and seeing what he can do, but there's no magic way of making sure that this stays. And with a game that's predicated upon athleticism, sharp cuts, and movement, you're always worried about a guy who's had knee injuries as he has. So as a Bulls fan, I completely understand, but at the same point, you do want him getting some reps in before because he hasn't had a lot of in-game experience, so it's tough. And like we said with the Paul George injury a couple shows back, the injuries can happen anywhere, so I wouldn't worry as much about the contextualizing it with Team USA, but of course there's worries.
Yeah, from the injuries that we're getting in the past couple of episodes that we're talking about, I now understand why people gave the name Dr. Phil to Phil Boileau. They've been talking about injuries and all of that, so I agree with Phil. Derrick Rose, he needs to slow down a little bit. Even Andrew Drummond called him the Ferrari among Nissans.
Yeah,
he needs to slow down, or like Phil said, probably he's the healthiest. I don't know, because 2 years ago we said that he's back and he's gonna be playing and all of that, but he's really injury prone. So I would tell him, you know what, relax a little bit. Yeah, let the other kids play, and you'll get your minutes. Take it slow. But knowing Tim Thibodeau, he doesn't know how to make his team slow. From the preseason games, they play as if it's playoffs. They are playoffs, so that's why they get all the injuries. Not like sport.
Yeah, and it's interesting to know that Tom Thibodeau is actually an assistant coach on Team USA, so he's right there with D. Rose right now. And so, yeah, I mean, it's interesting because I have to mention this on the side. Damian Lillard very much modeled his game after Derrick Rose, and after seeing the injuries D. Rose has gone through the last 2 years, Damian Lillard has changed his style of play to be less aggressive around the court, not wanting to have that kind of fatality. So it's interesting to see going forward, and obviously he's the linchpin of this team. Now, Phil, another big kind of titan of the NBA world that the Bulls have brought in this offseason has been Pau Gasol, the Spaniard. He's a bit older, but how do you think he's going to fit in with the Bulls?
I think, if you can watch the little box screen of Mota cheering on, I think we're going to see one of the best passing front courts since the 2000-2001 Sacramento Kings with Vlade Divac and Chris Webber. And anytime you can have big men who can rebound. Now, look, is he the best defender? No, but you're playing against one of the best defensive bigs in the league in Joakim Noah. I think both of their passing will allow other guys to have more open shots, and Derrick Rose to have, if he stays healthy, knock on wood or whatever this desk is made of, a very successful season. I think he fits much better. And don't forget, it's not like that is the end of the depth chart. We're looking at Mira Tick, who they brought over. They still have Taj Gibson. So their front court depth is amazing. I think Pau Gasol is a perfect fit.
Yeah, when you have Joakim Noah behind you, you don't need to play defense. I mean, you have the best rebounding, the best offensive rebounder, the best blocker. The guy can guard Rajon Rondo. So what else do you need? So it's Pau Gasol could just Tom Thibodeau would just tell him this: go out there and score me some points, because in the past 5 years I didn't have any big man that scored me any points. So probably that's probably going
to be
Carlos
Boozer after hearing
now,
that.
Mota,
let's not talk about Carlos Boozer, that guy from Alaska starting to rap and everything. So that's yes.
NBA rap albums always go wrong. Shaq Fu, for instance.
Yeah.
Phil, I got to talk about McBucket now. Mr. Creighton, Mr. Scoring nonstop around the clock, picked up by the Bulls, or actually by Denver, traded over the Bulls. How do you think Doug McDermott's going to play for them this season?
I think he's going to fit very well. I think he's going to fit a very needed wing scoring role that they were hoping that Carmelo Anthony would fit when they were pitching for his services. But he's going to do it at a much lower cost. Now, you can worry about his defense, but as Noah pointed out, having guys like Noah and having Tom Thibodeau's system, he's a great system guy. I think he'll really work hard. His defense and athleticism are underrated. People focus on his ability to score, but I think he'll play very well. And they have other defenders around him. They need wing scoring. And now with the addition, like, look, if you looked at their team last year, they were an elite defensive team who couldn't score a ton of points. You just added Pau Gasol in the front court and Dougie McBuckets on the wing. And, you know, if Derrick Rose comes back from the guard position, so you just took a team who was top in defensive categories and then brought in 3 offensive players who should mesh very well. I think it's a great fit.
You did not just compare Doug McDermott to Carmelo Anthony right now.
No, I didn't compare them in terms of overall. I said what they brought was wing scoring, and that's something they needed.
Okay, because that doesn't even fit into the same conversation. But yeah, I completely agree.
Well, it's not going to fit because he's going to be on a winning team. I agree.
Ah, my God. Okay, all right. Well, let's not talk Knicks until the Knicks get to the playoffs, all right?
So, Mota, let's bring some more of the international flavor. It's someone Phil briefly mentioned. Mira Tick is considered one of the best basketball players in the world outside the NBA. He's been playing for Real Madrid the last year. He's 23 years old. How do you think he's going to fit along with this fellow Spaniard in Gasol?
If they give him the right minutes, if he fits in the right system. I saw him play during the EuroLeague finals. And this guy knows how to play. He plays hard. He doesn't back down from anything. He gets hit. He was playing against the Maccabi and the Barcelona teams, and they are big, man. And he was able to take hits. He is very physical. So I'm pretty sure that he'll really fit. And he will have a great mentor like Pau Gasol to make him fit right away into the American system. So I truly believe that he's the type of European player that will walk into the arena and will definitely make an impact right away. Not the Ricky Rubio or the type of guys that will need like 2 to 3 years to mesh. And yes, I picked on you a little bit, Marc, here.
Actually, Ricky's first month in the season was pretty special, but then the players realized he didn't have a jump shot. So
exactly.
Ricky's got to work on that. Phil, one of the sneaky good pickups I think the Bulls made this offseason was picking up Aaron Brooks as a backup point guard. He's done some special things off the bench in Phoenix and Houston when he gets the opportunity to play. You think he's going to fit in well in Chicago?
I think it's a great fit. I mean, obviously, they're going to need some scoring from that point guard position. That's what Derrick Rose primarily provides, and he's a contingency plan. I mean, Brooks is not a guy you ideally want to start, but in the worst-case scenario where you have to, he's a guy who can light that scorecard. And he's a guy, like you said, he thrives in that 6-man role. I don't really enjoy him as a starter, but a 6-man role. Look, again, to add to my point before, that's a 4th guy they brought in as a pure scorer to a team that was already an elite defensive team. And the key point to this is having that system, not just good players. A guy like Noah and such are great. When you have a Thibodeau system who can turn any average guy into a pretty good defender or in that system, you have to be happy about it. I think it's a fantastic low-cost pickup, and the Bulls have to be one of the contenders because of it.
So I have to pick up on something that Phil actually said, which is, yes, they do have a defensive system, but until now we didn't figure out what's the offensive system from Chicago. So they need to figure that out. Tom Thibodeau has to release a little bit his defensive mentality and just move away from just defense intensity until 6 of your players have their ACL snap. So that's one thing that he needs to think about.
And yeah, I mean, obviously question marks are around the injuries. We have guys like Kurt Heinrich, Taj Gibson, Jimmy Butler thrown in the mix as well. Phil, the $1 million question is, are these guys going to gel, and do you see these guys as a contender?
Oh, absolutely. I think when you look at the guys who are brought in, Brooks, a consummate professional, he'll jump right into that 6-man role. You bring in Dougie McBuckets, 4-year college guy. He knows his role. He knows his limitations. He's been excited to learn this system. Yes, he's no Melo. And Pau Gasol just wants another ring. And I think him and Noah is going to be one of the underrated front courts this year. I would put them on par with Randolph and Gasol over in Memphis in terms of overall skill set. Now, I think on the defensive side, maybe Randolph takes Pau. But, you know, this is a team that, I mean, even if Cleveland gets Kevin Love, I think there's still more question marks on that team than answers. Whereas when you look at Chicago right now, they have the stretch four in Mirotic. They have the defensive big in Gibson. I mean, they can even afford a major injury to a big guy, and they'll still be more than fine. And let's not forget, even if with this plethora of riches, who knows if this is the last deal they've made? Who knows if they don't turn some of those bigs and Jimmy Butler, like they were trying to do with Kevin Love, into another big wing? When teams are trying to dump players and salaries near the trade deadline, this could be a team that could take advantage of that. So absolutely, I agree with you.
Yeah. Mota, are they the beasts of the East?
Eastern Conference Finals, Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Chicago Bulls. Cleveland will win by 6. Done.
Oh, wow.
Which ironically was LeBron James's number in Miami. Conspiracy, Mota.
Yes, I play magic tricks. I don't know. I see in my crystal ball.
One small tear for Derrick Rose this season then. So, guys, coming up on Hoops Lounge, I wanted to mention 2 things on my end. A news piece I've started called Four Corners, where I give 4 random thoughts from my mind on a random subject. I did one the other day on the Wiggins love fiasco, and I'm doing one right now on Mitch Richmond, who never got enough respect going into his Hall of Fame career. And also, I've got a piece coming up for a new website called soulshift.com by Dwayne Watson. Did a little piece on Steph Curry that will be up on SoulShift this week when they launch. Mota, what do you have coming up?
Well, we are actually discussing some nice things with FIBA. We're getting to officially, we are good to go to Spain. Unofficially, which games we're going to, that's the second step. So now we need to handpick which games we want to see. Obviously, everyone wants to watch USA basketball, but we are ready to go. So now we have to see how to get there. So we'll keep you posted. Just check us out on Facebook and Twitter.
I'm starting a Kickstarter. I need your assist, world. I need your assist to get us to Spain. That info will be up shortly. Phil, Off the Wire.
Off the Wire. So as everyone knows, Off the Wire is bringing you the breaking headlines. So now when we're in kind of the middle zone between the end of everything and the starting of everything, this is the perfect time to start bringing up some team previews. So we're going to be doing some team previews along with some articles of what's been going on with those teams. So keeping you up to date, team specifically, so what to look forward to and who to cheer for this year. And as a little side note, who to cheer for if you're not following him already on Twitter, follow my man Joel Embiid, one of the funniest rookies, already rookie of the year in my mind, even though he's not going to play.
And for those of you who don't believe that Montreal is a basketball city, besides seeing 3 to 5 jerseys a day, the other day I saw a Moses Malone ABA 1975 Spirit of St. Louis jersey that blew my mind completely. There's so much love in this basketball city. I can't even say it. Blew my mind. Moses Malone back in the day. Just hardcore basketball fans. We're not just a hockey city. We love and breathe the game of basketball. Also, Sam Dallenberg's jersey retirement from his high school is up next week. So much going around Montreal in terms of basketball. The Indiana Hoosiers are in town this week to play a bunch of teams around the city. Great feel for basketball here. I can't say it enough. We're not just a hockey town. We live and breathe the game. Anyways, guys, thanks for being on. And Phil, I'll throw it back to you to wrap up.
All right, perfect. Well, thanks, guys, as always, for joining another episode of the Hoops Lounge here. Whether you're catching us from our YouTube page, the Hoops Lounge, or you're on our website, hoopslounge.com. So if you want to get in contact with any of us, hoopslounge.com, contributors at the top, watch videos at the bottom, like, share, and comment, and everything in between. We want to know what you guys think. And as always, keep it in the lounge.
See ya.